Today on Ask Money Talk, we answer a question we're hearing around wills. Mindi Banach, tax and estate planner with TD Wealth, joins us now to weigh in. So here's the question. I'm single, pretty young, and an only child. Do I need a will, and do I need it right now? What do we think?
Yes. The reality is it's a common misconception that a will is only for the wealthy. That's just not true. It's for everyone. And what a will allows you to do is that it gives you control and allows you to determine who is going to be the beneficiary of your estate. Now, without a will, the government basically decides who is going to inherit from your estate. And in most provinces, if you were to die without a will and you don't have a spouse and you don't have any children, next in line are typically going to be your parents. But if your parents are both deceased, then it could be a distant relative that you don't know, and your family, loved ones, and the charitable causes that may be of interest to you may end up losing out. Now, I have heard that, philosophy that, I understand I might need a will, but I can do it later on. I don't need to do it today. I can worry about it in the future. And that's certainly one thought process. But, life is unpredictable and things happen that are unexpected. And I like to play the what if game. And that is, what if you were to lose capacity tomorrow? You may also lose the ability to actually sign a will in the future. So best to think about signing a will today, and arguably, assuming you draft a will in the best practices, you may not actually need to update your will. You certainly recommend reviewing it every few years, but you only need to update your will if there's been a change in your facts or circumstances.
All right, so a young person listening to this thinking, okay, maybe I need to think about putting a will together. Then I step back and say, I don't have any major asset yet. So, what do I actually put in this document?
So again, not only for the wealthy, there are assets that may not have significant financial value associated with them, but are still important and can still be distributed in your will. So for example, your sentimental items, your personal belongings, those family heirlooms, jewelry, grandma's china plate, they may not have significant financial value, but lots of sentimental value. Another asset are your digital assets. I'm not only referring to cryptocurrencies, I'm also referring to airline miles, credit card points, things of that nature, as well as some sentimental accounts that you have, social media accounts, those things that, again, may or may not have financial value, but significant sentimental value. And I want to highlight, if you don't have a will, it may cause more costs and may delay the administration of your estate. And one last thing to consider that's really important is that a will does not only cover the assets that you own at the time that you sign your will, a will also covers all of what you own on the day that you pass away. So a will doesn't only cover the assets that you own today, it also covers the assets that you own tomorrow in the future.
Yeah, that's an important distinction that I hadn't thought about. It's going to move along with you. Well, what about other things like power of attorney? People hear that phrase, wonder what does it mean for them?
So powers of attorney, very important, because those are the documents that take effect while you are alive. Wills only take effect upon passing, but what a power of attorney allows you to do is while you're alive, it allows you to appoint somebody to make either your medical care decisions or your financial decisions, again, while you are alive. And I kind of view powers of attorney almost like a safety net in that hopefully you never need them, but if you do, you are going to be so glad that you have put those in place.
Lastly, I want to ask you, obviously, people will see these different services for doing the will themselves. Let's talk about the complexities and perhaps the need for professional help in some situations.
Yeah, so I hear about people doing it the DIY version, and there's a lot of pitfalls and complexities that arise. Now, it's certainly one way of drafting a will, but you really want to look at the pitfalls. So if you're drafting a handwritten will, known as a holographic will, it's not valid in every province. So in Quebec, in Ontario, in Saskatchewan, it is valid, but it's not valid in British Columbia, so that's something to take note of. And I've seen sometimes these online templates, and I tend to find that they're very generic and they may not incorporate the unique facts and circumstances based on your unique circumstances. And so you do want to look to a professional, specifically a lawyer who has special expertise in estate planning. And I like to analogize it a little bit to healthcare in that if you have something wrong with your heart, do you really want a dentist doing surgery on your heart? Now, a dentist is a doctor, but are they the right type of doctor to do heart surgery? So too when it comes to drafting a will, you in theory can hire any lawyer, but I suggest looking for a lawyer who has special expertise in estate planning. And one thing to look out for is the TEP designation, which stands for the Trust and Estates Practitioner designation, which is awarded by STEP, the Society of Trust and Estates Practitioners. It's not going to guarantee perfection, but it does indicate that that professional has a higher level of knowledge, particularly in the field of trust and estates.
A lot of important things to consider there. Thanks for that, Mindi.
My pleasure.
That was Mindi Banach, tax and estate planner at TD Wealth. And if you have a question, send it to moneytalk@td.com.